Many of you have been on protocol after protocol. You've tried supplement after supplement and been on pill after endless pill, only to find you're still struggling and suffering with the same illness or condition, and maybe you're left with more questions than you started. Hi, I'm Aric Cox here at the Institute for Restorative Health, and I'm here to tell you the answer might be in boosting your elimination by improving your BioTerrain. Just a reminder, these videos are for educational purposes only. And this is the next video as in a series of videos where we're taking our BioRestorative matrix piece by piece and explaining each segment and how it applies to your health. The BioRestorative matrix is our lens that we look at every person through so we can help personalize every case and that we can help better connect you mind, body, and spirit. So in this video, we're going to discover what is BioTerrain, why should we be concerned about the biological terrain, how can you help your own BioTerrain, and how our BioRestorative method addresses the BioTerrain. So we'll start off with what is BioTerrain. It goes by many other names: mesenchyme, milieu, matrix, and interstitium, just to name a few. And it's actually just recently in 2018, a research paper was published that heralded that scientists had discovered a brand new organ. So here we are, 2019, almost 2020, that we thought the anatomy books were closed, but yet this new organ comes forth with the advances of imaging and technology. They have been able to identify the biological terrain or interstitium as a brand new organ unto itself. Think of it like this tapestry of proteins and water woven together that nestles and comforts and protects everything in our body and interconnects every single thing. This means that it's a matrix that supports cells, tissues, microbes even. And this is important too because the microbes of our body, fungi, viruses, bacteria, they need to be supported as well. So more on that here in a moment. The BioTerrain provides a safe haven for nerves, capillaries, blood vessels. This means if you've got nerve pain or brain fog, if you've got blood flow issues, cold hands, cold feet, if you have lymphatic congestion, biological terrain health is very, very key for total health. Your biological terrain also acts as a carrier for all information of your body. This means it's like a medium for great exchange to happen, great communication to happen for cell to cell, organ to organ, both within its neighbors but also distantly in the body. This is also a very key piece here where the biological terrain houses our autonomic function. This is that delicate balance between rest and digest and fight or flight, and without that balance, then ill health and disease and discomfort come from that. So why should we be concerned about taking care of our biological terrain? Think of it like taking care of a garden or taking care of a field for crops. That plant desperately depends on the soil that it's sitting in. A seed cannot grow by itself. It has to be placed in an optimum medium for it to grow. And a big part of that is the soil. The prime medium for that is the soil of the earth. When the soil has all the nutrients and all the microbes and everything it needs, that plant can grow and thrive. And our cells are really no different. We have to have this great soil around every cell, feeding it, nourishing it, and helping detox so that it can, every cell of our body connected together can thrive as one being. When our biological terrain is in balance and primed and optimized, then we can healthily detoxify or eliminate everything that we need to get rid of. Every toxin that we've taken from the world around us and within. So challenges to our biological terrain come from these 5 sources. A major one is pH imbalances, the delicate balance of acids and bases in our body. A large part of that comes from GI distress or gut dysfunction, but it also comes from not getting enough buffers or sponges from our food that soak up these acids and help us eliminate them. A lot of you already know that we're living in a toxic world and our bodies bioaccumulate these toxins. So if we don't eliminate them on a daily basis, they stack up and bioaccumulate in our tissues, further compromising our biological terrain. Protein excess is a very common problem these days. Before World War II, up to it, we were eating about 40 grams of protein a day. Now we're eating well over 120 grams of protein a day. So what do we do with that excess protein? It gets swept under the rug into these tissues, into the biological terrain, and further compromising its function. Nutrient deficiencies. We're not getting enough nutrients in our food because the plants, the soil is not being replenished. Our soil is very much losing its nutrient density, which means we don't get the nutrients from our food. Also, with all the stressors we're going under, electrochemical, emotional, structural stresses that we're going through on a daily basis, we tend to lose these nutrients as a result to try to compensate for that stress. Our bodies also are under a great deal of more frequencies from the electromagnetic spectrum than ever before in our history. And this is literally frying our tissues, frying our biological terrain. And just like any other relationship, it depends upon communication. The same thing with our tissues and our cells and our microbes of our body. There has to be a good communication for all of these trillions of cells to function together as one. And it's the biological terrain that allows this to happen. We all know that the brain is this master regulator, communicator of our body, and so it does well with a good biological terrain, but also every cell is surrounded by a membrane that separates itself from its neighboring cells. And this is the brain of the cell, and it helps the cell itself better regulate within. So that's in direct connection, direct contact with the biological terrain. So when the terrain is optimized, our brains work better, our membranes work better. This is an important note here, is that we are more germ than human. Just bacteria alone, there are 10 times more bacterial cells in our body than we have human cells. Which brings us to a key distinction between germ theory and terrain theory. Both came out of France in the mid-1800s. Germ theory was put forth by Louis Pasteur, and terrain theory is put forth by Claude Bernard and Antoine Béchamp. And it's important to note that these are both theories. Not one has been proven into law yet, but we adhere greatly to germ theory these days, which is why we're so focused on killing bugs, because we have antimicrobial soaps, we're using antibiotics like crazy, and we're so concerned about germs and microbes hurting us. But yet there's nothing that's proven this into law yet. So, terrain theory is crucial for helping us to understand and focus on why biological terrain is so important for key health. So germ theory, it tells us that we are a victim to outside forces. That means that we're just these poor, unfortunate beings that are under the whims of invading microbes, and that microbes eventually cause disease. So this is very much a problem-focused theory. It's fixated on killing a bug. And you kill bugs, well, you're going to have to kill more bugs, and you're going to have to kill more bugs. And round you go endlessly. You've never fixed the problem, which is what happens when you're problem-focused. You get distracted from the solution. Terrain theory to the rescue. So we are victors. We are in control. We actually have a tremendous amount of influence and dominion over the world around us and our internal environment. And we have a lot more control, a lot more play in this than we actually think. And a lot of this is being proved because of all the research, the growing body of research on the microbiome. All these bacteria that live in our body, and our DNA and their DNA greatly depend upon each other, and there's a symbiotic relationship. So we find that the microbe's infectious nature is just the result of its surroundings. See, microbes, bacteria, fungi, viruses, they're no different than anything else in nature. They are true to their nature, which means they behave based off their environment. So if a horse gets spooked, it's not going to turn and go on attack mode and bare its fangs and claws. No, it's designed to run. The same thing with the microbes of our body. when they sense that the pH is off and toxins are on the rise and we've got too much protein and we're all stressed out and EMFs are inundating us, then they change their behavior and they actually work against us than for us. So the focus needs to be on changing the terrain, changing the environment so that they'll change their behavior and become more relatable and help us out. So terrain theory, being the opposite of germ, it's more solution focused, and it harnesses, it leverages the power of the microbiome, again, to work with us, to help us fight our battles together as one being, the way we're designed. So how do we here at the Institute for Restorative Health take care of the microbiome and the biological terrain? Well, we use targeted nutrients to feed the microbes. Anything from diet to specific foods that can help supercharge the gut bacteria so that they are helping our immune system and controlling inflammation, to specific micronutrients or trace minerals or macronutrients that would better clear out the terrain and build up that framework, that structure, that scaffolding that's holding us together. We look at lifestyle intervention. So we talk about your social life, your family life, your work life, your sleep habits, everything about you that could be a imbalance that's creating ill health. So everything in your life has an impact on how you feel and how you think and how your body is able to respond. We look at proper elimination pathways. And this is just so much more than detox. This is looking at giving your body the means to take care of itself. So you're not having toxins forced out of your body, but you're having things supported so that your body can finesse these things out, and so it reduces Herxheimer's and healing crisis and that kind of stuff. We look at heart rate variability and the body research that brings, and the fantastic assessment that it is on the body, because this is the best way to assess your autonomic nervous system, fight or flight, rest and digest, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. By looking at how your body's responding through heart rate variability, we can better understand how your terrain is responding to treatment. We can see what you need to get you into a healing process and any kind of snags along the way. We also look at functional labs. This is through blood, urine, and saliva to get an idea of the biochemistry of the terrain. So we know what key pieces you're missing, things that your body's having a hard time eliminating or hard time absorbing. But most importantly, we at the Institute for Restorative Health like putting it back in your hands. We need to give you the empowerment so that you can be your primary care. You can take this on because it's your body and it knows what to do. It just needs to help to get to that place to can do it on its own again. One of the big things you can do on your own is broaden your protein sources. So animal protein being very dense in protein, and we're getting way too much these days. Reducing animal protein, so kind of being like a vegetarian with benefits, where you get more veggie, in particular cruciferous veggies, avocado, nuts, seeds. These bring a lot more diversity to your protein, and your body has an easier time digesting it. You'll want to strengthen your organs, especially those of elimination. And this is where the Optimum 8 comes in extremely handy. These are 8 of the top therapies that you can do in the comfort of your own home that are really impactful on helping your body eliminate on its own. And you can find that information on our website, instituteforrestorativehealth.com. You'll want to replenish your minerals. And this can be as simple as using Himalayan salt or gray salt, those colored salts. That color comes from trace minerals and that you get from the earth. That's one way to replete your body. Also using like cast iron pans. That's a little way to get some different metals in your body, minerals. Eating organic and wholesome foods. These tend to have more minerals in them than your conventional grown. And just like we're plants, and a plant needs certain nutrients to grow and to thrive, we need certain nutrients. So sunlight, water, food. We're not like plants where we can convert chemical energy from the sun, but the sun has so much more to provide to our bodies than just vitamin D. So getting sunlight is massively important. The biological matrix is mostly water, so repleting your body with good, healthy, clean water. Food, getting your body healthy, wholesome, organic foods that are prepared with love. I mean, all these things go into food that are so key to our body being nourished beyond just vitamins and minerals. And the Earth's electromagnetic field is massively important as well. So getting outside, just by being outside in nature alone, it strengthens our immune system and by several orders, and I can do it for several days to even a month. Fascial work. Good body work, somebody that can help the soft tissues of our body, because that's what helps connect the connective tissue together. It's not just muscle connects to tendon to bone, it's all this continuous network that is one continuous fiber or one continuous sheet. So someone that can look at that, a massage therapist, craniosacral therapy, lymphatic drainage, chiropractic, myofascial release, different low force, gentle techniques can help finesse and care for the biological terrain so that it optimizes its function. And this last one is an interesting point, because the most impactful genes towards our health come from those that play off of our social life. So how we are socially, what our social life is like, is a reflection of our internal relationships. So how our cells are connecting is reflection of how we're connecting with each other. So your marriage, your family life, your work friends, your how you let your hair down on the weekend, these ways that we connect with each other and with God, for that matter, have a big impact on the way our cells connect and how that terrain responds to that. So your social life is an important piece to bringing back integrity to your biological terrain. All right, so sum it up, bring it all home. The health of our cells and our microbes is inextricably tied to our biological terrain. When we have a better terrain, we have a better elimination. And this is just beyond detox and forcing toxins out. This is supporting our body's ability to do it on its own. Terrain-focused approach is a solution-focused approach, and you stay away from the problem. The problem is solved by focusing on the solution and knowing that you're not a victim anymore. You're not stuck being a victim to microbes in your body, and you don't have to worry about killing them. You have to worry about supporting the proper environment in your body so that your cells and your microbes can get along and you can have that optimum health you're looking for. Healthy BioTerrain is in your hands as well as your practitioners. This is why we here at the Institute for Restorative Health harness the power of biological medicine, functional medicine, and energetic medicine so we can get a better look at all things that connect you mind, body, and spirit. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please do us a favor and share this. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and for liking us on Facebook. Thank you again.